FA presents The Inner Circle.
And away we go!
Starring Coach Ant and Coach Rel.
Because remember earlier where I said it feel like we start in debt, like we start like behind. That's a behind answer because if it was black men before us, why are we creating a safe space? There should be a safe space that we should already belong to. It should be a safe space that we be able to seek out. You telling me that not only is it not around me in close proximity, but I can't go get it either. So I got to create it, which build what? More work. Do y'all know who leads the suicide rate? Black men. Because of that. Where the hell do I go be a safe space?
The church.
It's not, and I'm gonna tell you this.
Nah.
And my 12 years of ministry ain't safe there either. So when we say we're gonna go create a safe space, it bothers me because we should already have one.
Yeah.
There should already be running nonprofits that's here. It should already be families where we could belong to and say, "Unc, let me holler at you. Cuz, let me holler at you. Bro, let me holler at you. Let's do a mental health circle around here."
But it is though. Like you. So I'm not gonna say it's not. It is because I was privileged to, like I was part of a Rutgers Future Scholars Program, right? Like, so it was a nonprofit organization that essentially helped young people from 6th to 12th grade transition into college. They helped pay for a big part of my tuition. So there's some spaces out there that provide opportunities of mentorship and into leadership. But what happens is we so focused on what the world look like and what social media feeding us that those marginalized spaces become minimized, right? Because if you have just this drive for purpose, right, and you start trying to attach that drive to particular settings, right, you have to be exposed to those particular opportunities. Like I was telling Rel before, we started. I was privileged to be in civic engagement, right? Like, which is creating opportunities for youth to be exposed to opportunities in the community. So I think that we need to have more conversations about what opportunities are available, and then use those conversations and market those conversations and market the people that's doing the work. So we won't be overshadowed by what the world look like, right? Because I think the world is distracting us, right, from our purpose. So I don't think that is not space. I don't think that is not any spaces out there where as leaders. I think that that's not what you, for the most part, not a lot of people exposed to the information.
I'm gonna bring. I think the point that I took away from what Ant was saying was, those things may be there, but it's the fact that no one's pushing it.
And it still work.
Right.
And like, still talking about work.
Meanwhile, if you think about other groups of other demographics, there are known commodities that they can go to from an early age that there's commercials for it.
It's about efficacy.
And then so that kind of segued perfect into my question for y'all. As black men, where do y'all feel loved? And do you feel loved?
For me, initially from a young age, it started with people cheering me on in sports. Like when I would do good at those things, you get the love from your mom when you're doing good with school and whatnot. But I think after you get past the love, wanting to be loved by others, you got to start to do the inner work on yourself. And once you start to have the inner work on yourself and you love what you do, or you love you for who you are, then that's where you could go ahead and find that. You could find it at, but it's hard. It's not easy.
And then you want to answer? And I got an input on that. But
I used to have a love issue. I used to feel like I used to feel like feeling love wasn't necessary, but I was so used to giving love though. But when it came to me, I didn't value it as much. It's like I don't really need and you probably could tell by my demeanor, like I'm laid back. I don't really need like the cheers and I don't need people to validate me. But it's some cons to that though, right? Like you get used to being numb a little bit, but when it comes to building people up, you find yourself pretty good at that because you got to it's a spectacle, like what love is kinda, but I would say I had to grow in that area, so like where I go to feel loved now is people who hold me accountable. Like like it's my brother, like he hold me accountable. My mom hold me accountable. God hold me accountable. So I think in the family space, I feel the most love because I'm surrounded by people who know me, know my story, they know my faults and my flaws, and they still choose to love me. They still choose to encourage me. They still choose to give me opportunity. So I would say I feel loved amongst my family.
And I ask you a question. This is a theme that I've noticed amongst Black men. I just want to get your point on it. It seems like as Black boys, we have to chase or become good at something to feel loved in an area instead of just being a little Black boy and being loved. Like when I work with kids and work with other boys, other kids of other demographics that are different ethnicities, mom just picks them up, dad just picks them up. It don't seem like they got to do anything. Getting hugged at the car, getting taken out on, trips. So my question is, are you seeing that trend amongst the Black population?
Yeah, it's almost like we need like a certain social GPA in order to feel love. Yeah, but that's my issue. It still sound like work though.
You know what it is too, bro? I feel like I know I'll keep on beating the dead horse, but I feel like the parents who just look at their kids and they don't like how you said they just pick them up is because that child has free range to be whatever he wants to be in life. But
he about to cook. Go ahead.
But hypocritically, I don't know if that's a real word, but it's like when we have children in inner cities, we look at our kids as the meal ticket out. And that's the difference. Like, that's the meal ticket. So I'm already putting pressure on you as you a kid. Yeah, you gonna be this and shape your world. And when you're doing it, but when you don't do it, it's like, damn, we back at zero. Versus a family who already is successful and now they can pass that lineage on to their kids. And it's like, bro, I don't care what you do because we already got this stuff set up.
And look, let me add to this, right? So, man, that's heavy what you just said because it then carries on to something else. If I'm the meal ticket for my family, I get where I need to get, right? I start getting phone calls about how I'm supposed to reach back and give back, right? If somebody already set up and they necessarily not the meal ticket because they already got $1 million. So all I gotta do is just add to the pot.
To the pot.
Group economics.
Yeah.
In a Black family, if everybody's starting from back here, -2, it's no group economics. And when we finally do get $1, instead of putting it in the middle of the table and saying, yo, this our money, everybody just go like this and hold their bread. So I'm only going to give to you out of surplus.
Yeah.
That's not love. Right?
And I think, and another thing too, go back off your point, it was a great point. We teach responsibility different inside the Black community. So for instance, I know plenty of my friends anecdotally or just going out of experience, we'll put the responsibility of these are your little brothers and sisters, I need you to raise them. Versus in other communities, I'm gonna give you a responsibility. You're gonna come home, have to take care of the house. You're gonna have to go get a job at a certain age. You're gonna have to create something, right? And we don't get responsibilities from another thing that's added is we don't get any tutelage or trainage for the most part inside our community, right? So I know I grew up in Lakewood. It got changed into like a Jewish community. One of the things I've learned is their father has to give them a trade skill at the age of 13. So they're learning something that they can make money off of for the rest of their life at 13 years old from their father. It is something he has to do. The father has to do it. And it comes from the church, the synagogue. You have to do it. So we don't spin the wheel that way. And then it also changes our girls, right? Our young Black girls to think, well, if they get into we're all lustful, right? So they get into predicaments where they've been raising their little brothers and sisters. It also puts them in a capacity that I know I want to be a mom, but I am a mom and I can be a mom. So if I get pregnant, it's teaching them, if I get pregnant, I can take care of this responsibility because I've been doing it my whole life. And not understanding that if you become a young mother, how much it sets you back.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you're now probably having you probably fornicated with a young black boy that don't know how to be a young black man and be a dad. So now he's chasing whatever he's chasing to feel loved. And now we've got a child that's probably fatherless.
Broken family.
And now the mother is stepped back because now even if you talk about work responsibility, even if she wants to go to school, think about all she has to do, especially if you don't got no help. If the grandmother or the mother is saying, I'm not helping you, she's cooked.
Yeah.
She's got to wait now until she's probably working at Domino's. She's working at McDonald's. She's doing something. She has to wait until that child becomes of age that she can find a resource to put that child into a program. So now she can have the free time to go to school. But yeah, so that's where it led me to thinking.
I want to get into something I think that's interesting. I think we all could kind of speak to. I don't think none of us was corny as kids. I think we all said, we all had our fair share of ladies at some point. So relationships. So as far as relationships, as a black man, do you feel value? Have you felt value in relationships? And what do you think, like, the biggest, like, misconception of black men in relationships with a black woman is?
That you got to provide, like the sense of provision and where it come from, and confusing it with generosity.
I spoke about
That's
this
a
on
good
the
one.
pod.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I spoke about this before. Can we dive into that? So what's the difference?
So when a man is generous, right, he give to you not out of obligation, but out of the sense of his heart, right? Like he wants to give to you, right, without expecting anything in return, right? When a man is expected to be a provider, there is a social obligation that's usually attached to that, and that can come with stress and burnout, right? Especially when the means of your provision is not done out of love, but it's done out of, you have to do this, right? Like, so for me, like that's the distinct, how you define those things for me. So, a lot of the times I felt myself in relationships where women don't want a generous man. They want a man that pays for everything because he has to, right? Like, or even outside of that, they don't want a compassionate man who's sensitive. They want a man who is strong and firm and doesn't show his weaknesses, and because it scares them and it make them run away, especially if they don't have the capacity to or emotional stability to accept the man's weaknesses, right, or vulnerabilities. So that's been my experience with relationships, like just not being able to be vulnerable, and having to put on a mask, but also not having opportunity to be generous.
I do real quick. I want to have a brother moment.
Yeah.
All right. My brother always been like tender boy. Like since we was kids, man. I'll be on the phone talking to different women. I go grab something, put him on the phone.
Yeah.
He on the phone talking about some. How was your day? What's your definition of love?
Yeah,
Man, that's not
right.
what we are talking about. So I actually shaped my brother's perspective amongst my other family members, as far as like just women. And I gave him a bad definition of women. Now he always, like I said, he always been the one who was tender. So he always been the one like, I'm gonna fall in love with her, and that wasn't my joint. You know what I mean? So yeah, he got me in a lot of trouble back in the day with a lot of women. Yeah.
He wanted me to no, I ain't gonna say
Not on the pod much.
But go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing I could just think about from personal experience, but I could see it both ways too. But yes, I feel like I've been valued in all of my relationships, because when I get into a relationship when I get to a relationship, one of my biggest things is that I want to be able to empower you as well too, just based on the knowledge that I got. Because I want to go ahead and give it to you so we could build an empire, and we both could be doing the things that we want to do. But another thing that I feel like with black men, not all the time, but black men also don't know how to be alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we hop from relationship to relationship to relationship, and you never get no time to really heal and just be by yourself. And that was something that I went through myself, so I can understand that. And also, like how some women can look at a man and say he's supposed to provide, but Like women could look at men and say, you know, he just want to leech off me. He just want to stay in my house. He just want me to pay all the bills, and he could just be lazy and whatnot as well too. So that's just something that I thought about too.
All right. So we appreciate y'all coming on.
Mm-hmm.
So we coming down to the end. How we do the end is like this. So we want you guys to essentially every person should have a message on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And what we like to do on the pod is have you guys say your message and what you would speak to and who you want to speak to and the message you want to convey. So
Right.
if each of y'all could take a turn and say your message, and then if you have a question for either me or Anthony, you have to answer, and then we'll close out.
Well, what I want to say, and mic on me, camera on me right now. I'm talking to all of everybody who feel like you need to be at a certain place to be somebody. So I live by this: be, do, have. Right? You be the person you want to be. You do the things that person do, and then you'll have what it is. A lot of us, we think we need to have things, and then we do things, and then we become the person. No, that's backwards. You're never gonna get there. So be, do, have. Right? Be the person that you already envisioning yourself at the finish line.
Mine's is you can't expect change and not pour into people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I think a lot of the times, you know, we hear this cliche, hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, extend yourself, be vulnerable, and allow somebody to pour into you, pour good love into you, goodness into you, and then be an extension of that. And I think if we could, you know, find love in our hearts and we can give love, then we can really start changing the world. Because I think a lot of the times, or a lot of this conversation is, how do we change the narrative on Black men? And I think the answer is rooted in learn love and then give love.
Sure.
Okay.
And either one of y'all got a question?
Any questions for us?
Yeah.
Man, what's y'all purpose of success? 'Cause I don't feel like we gave it, or definition. I mean, we don't feel like we gave it a solid definition.
Mine's always going to be rooted in the faith. I think success is just being a servant, edifying, making sure that souls are saved at the end of the day. And in that, speaking to your point, I think that we find value, and when we find value in our identity, then we don't have to seek validation outside of who God already called us to be. So for me, that's success. And success is not based on circumstances, but I think it's ultimately based on you not being a product of your environment, but you cultivating the environment around you. So that's my definition of success.
My definition of success would be, when you die, how do people talk about you?
Legacy.
Your legacy, exactly. Your message that is left beyond this earth. Are people putting you in a good frame of mind when they think of you? When they think about your when they think about you and your message, are they smiling, or are they not speaking about you at all, or are they glad that you're gone? Right, and that's my definition of success. So what I want it to be in the world we live in now, yeah, success would be, I want to make sure my family's taken care of, my friends are thriving and like that. But we're all of us are temporary. So, but the message could be forever.
Facts.
That's good. Okay.
And did you have a question?
Any question for you?
No, it's on my head now.
Okay. All right. Well,
all right. Tell us where they can reach you guys.
Shout yourselves out. Social media.
I'm not really a big social media boy, so I'm gonna be honest. I don't know my social media off top. But I'm Marcellus Hill. I mean, if you want to find me, essentially that's probably my tag on social media. My name, Marcellus Hill, or at least it'll pop up. Yeah.
For sure. You guys can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. My Instagram handle is Rich Then Famous. Rich has 2 H's in it. Rich Then Famous. My name is Corey Haggy, and I look to connect with all of you guys really soon.
Thank y'all for having us. Thank y'all for being here. This is another episode of Our Friendly Advice. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. We was hyper focused on Black men, and hopefully y'all get to, they drop some gems, and hopefully y'all learn from this today. So y'all enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see y'all next episode. What's up, y'all? If y'all like with this conversation that we've been having, the inner circle, man, first of all, if you want to be a guest, feel free to hit us up, man. We're going to look into your credentials, see who you are. If you fit the criteria, then feel free to sit down on this couch right here, the hot seat. And another thing, like, subscribe, and lock in with us on all social media platforms, Our Friendly Advice. And to visit our website is ourfriendlyadvice.net. You can book us there. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.